हम्म, चलो भाई ट्रेलर क्या आया पीओई का खतरनाक। तो इसके बाद हाँ वही है, आप जितना मर्जी अब करप्ट मार मार के उस पे अलग अलग निकाल सकते हो।
ये ऐसे नहीं होएगा, एक ही होएगा मेरे ख्याल।
ना ना, और भी ऑप्शन होने चाहिए।
That leveled skill gem. Coin of
मेरे को
skill.
देखते हैं
Coin of
और कुछ
knowledge.
चीजें। इस पे क्या है, करप्ट लेवल इम्प्रूव रैंडम
Coin of power.
इंटेलिजेंस स्ट्रेंथ
Or
और
coin of
टैक्स।
skill.
अच्छा ये डेक्स्ट वाला मारेगा तो वो जेम डेक्स्ट वाले जो आ सकते हैं सपोर्ट जेम उससे करप्ट होगा, ऐसा है। तो डिटर्मिनिस्टिक तो हुआ थोड़ा बहुत।
Each of these
तो
coins
ये
can be
बिक
given to
सकते हैं ये?
max
कॉइन या फिर उसके बाद जेम? कॉइन को पूछ रहा है, जेम को
नहीं,
पूछ रहा है?
जेम ये वाले जो मिल रहे हैं ये बिकते हैं क्या?
और
leveled
क्या
skill
बिकेंगे
gem.
ये ऑब्वियसली।
Corrupting it and augmenting it with a random support that matches the
Wow.
color of the coin used.
Wow.
Only one skill that is imbued this way can be socketed into a given equipment item at a
Oh.
time, meaning you cannot have two imbued skills.
6.5 कितने कर देते हो? इतना थोड़ी यार।
तो बोले 6.5 ही करो, ये
Items in your
5.5 नहीं
body
करने
armor,
आपने।
as an example.
Oh, just in body
वो
armor.
हाँ डबल
That's
6 लिंक हो
one of the
जाता फिर।
rewards. But
You
let's
can
get
have one
back
in
to
your
the
glove and
area
one
to
in your
area
helmet.
mechanic. Once you've made your choice of wish,
So much character,
enter the
that's
mirage
crazy.
and fight your way through the monsters and astral hazards to find the tether holding the djinn.
So good for specters.
Shatter this chain to free the djinn, step by step weakening whatever dark plans the Ufarud may have for Rayclast.
सही बोल रहे हैं, so good
Wishes
for
are not the
specters.
only value a Mirage has to offer to an enterprising exile. As we mentioned earlier, Mirages are an imperfect copy of the area the Jinn occupies in Rayclast, and it will copy almost anything, as long as it's within the domain of the Jinn. Mirages created from an endgame map, for instance, will have all Scarab, Atlas, and map modifiers the area had. Mirages created next to a strongbox will have a new strongbox ready for you to open.
Why not filter?
Blights can be defended again.
Whoa. Oh, did you see that?
Legions fought once more, and so
Say
on.
what?
अच्छा
The-
तो फिर
the third
RNG पे
icon
भी
on the
है
blind.
कि कहाँ पे आता
You
है
get a
वो।
portion of your map to play a second time. And everything you did to enhance the content of that map applies in the Mirage
अच्छा,
too.
अल्टीमेटम चलाऊंगा
These
तो?
recreated copies of League mechanics, however, have been warped into reality by the power of the Mirage. And this has some side effects.
This
For
looks
one,
like such a cool league,
recreation
no?
may not be perfect. The factions of a legion may differ from the one the Mirage copied. Or the variety of strongboxes may change. More
Okay.
importantly,
Cool.
the mechanic may be empowered
Okay.
with new threats and rewards
That's scary.
that are
Am I
customized
gonna
to
get
each
one shot?
mechanic and are only available when doing that mechanic in the Mirage.
A fraud monster.
For example, ultimatums recreated in Mirages will have new threatening modifiers and
अरे सुनने ही नहीं देगा ये है करने लग पड़ता है। सुनने दे अभी क्या
ultimatums
हो रहा है।
recreated in Mirages will have new
That's so
threatening modifiers
cool.
added to the usual pool. Restless Ground can raise slain enemies to fight again,
पहले कम थ्रेटनिंग होते हैं।
or Quicksand will grasp at your ankles.
ये देखो।
As a reward for these new threats, Mirage ultimatums can provide the new Sinistral or Dextral Catalyst.
हाँ जी, ये क्या है?
लेफ्ट रिंग क्वालिटी, रिंग की क्वालिटी, रिंग के सफिक्स की क्वालिटी।
हम्म,
These catalyze jewelry with increased effect of
Okay.
either prefix or suffix modifiers.
That's so
As
good
you
on
can
helical
imagine,
rings and
there's a
stuff.
lot of potential
हेलिकल
here.
रिंग, हेलिकल कौन सी होती है?
अरे वो जो रिंग है जो हाइस्ट से निकलती है, जो 1 इम्प्लिसिट 2 इम्प्लिसिट वाले जो होते हैं।
अच्छा हाँ, वो तो महंगी होती है पहले ही।
Another example
stacker is
is
so
that
hard to
Kalgurn
slay then.
ore recreated in the Mirage has a chance to be replaced by a Thaumaturgic Hourglass, a powerful magical device that your Kalgurn friends can mine in order to obtain vast quantities of Thaumaturgic dust.
Wow.
Blight encounters recreated in Mirages have one of their lanes replaced by Ufarud enemies.
I see. You see
Feast
that
of
last
the
one?
रूड।
This lane can reward a new base type, the Cord Belt. The implicit of this belt allows it to be anointed, causing it to grant a
Wow.
passive tree notable of your choosing.
Wow, that is nuts.
Oh!
As a quick note,
हाँ जी तुझी पैसिव ट्री लगाओ बेल्ट दे तुझी अनॉइंट करो बेल्ट
in the mirages. So you don't need to worry too much about getting lucky with where your content generates in an area.
This is so cool.
As the campaign doesn't generally contain too much additional League content for the mirages to empower, we've gone and added a whole bunch that will force spawn near the gym. So your campaign experience will double down on being more action-packed and rewarding.
ओके ले अंशु तेरा नेट बटा था
Now, of course,
जिनके पास में
if
ही
you're
आएगा
traveling through mirages,
ब्लॉक
encountering new
वाला दो
enemies,
मेरे
and
को कोई
slaying
आइटम दो
them,
ब्लॉक वाला
you can expect to find some new uniques.
मेरे को रिटेलिएशन खरीदनी
The
है दोबारा
Upper Road are not only torturers, but thieves, and have over the centuries stolen away priceless Maraketh artifacts. Using their powers of rot and disease, they have twisted these items to suit their own purposes. Flesh Render is one such artifact. An
फ्लैश रेंडर
Physical damage over time
इसको
multiplier,
पॉइजन से क्या होता है
cannot poison you with at least a poison of them. Additional poison on the same target.
क्या होता है
Poison
पॉइजन
with
से
this
पता
weapon.
नहीं
When you inflict poison with this weapon, wither on hit with this weapon against enemy with at least 12 poison on them.
ancient and exquisite Maraketh blade
क्या ये तगड़ा
that has
है
been
मेरे को ऐसे ही
tarnished
लगा
and befouled. Its rusted and jagged edge is perfect for poisoning and withering your enemies.
That's really good for anime
However,
weapon.
Varashta has in her command the power to restore these once lost Maraketh treasures to their former glory. Acquiring a coin of restoration by slaying monsters in mirages
Coin of
allows any
restoration.
unique obtained from the Upper Road
ये
to be
PE2 वाले
transformed
सामान
into
भी ले
its
रहे हैं
Maraketh
कोइन
counterpart,
वाले
its
मुझे बदल गई।
glorious original form.
Oh.
Flesh Render,
क्या
for
हुआ?
example, transforms into Sky Sunder, the original Maraketh blade that radiates with the glowing heat of the desert sun. When you ignite monsters, Sky Sunder reflects that ignite back to you, which proliferates to nearby enemies in a massive area.
Wow, that is
Meddle with the
cool.
affairs of the Upper
Self
Road for
spread
too
already.
मतलब
long.
आप खुद पे इग्नाइट मारोगे और खुद फिर
Draw the ire of the
Melee बनना
Mirage
पड़ेगा
League's
इसके लिए?
new in-game boss, Suresh of the
Yeah,
Weeping
yeah.
Black.
Get the
सुरेश
Denizens, I guess.
हैं पीछे करियो
Also,
सुरेश
you may draw the ire of the Mirage League's new in-game boss, Suresh of the Weeping Black.
That's how we get the Denizens, I guess.
Suresh also has a set of powerful, exclusive items. Yours for the taking, if you're able to defeat him.
Wow.
So that's the Mirage League. Now,
Wow.
to face all the new
Wow.
evils, you might want some righteous skills, some holy skills. In 328, you'll have access
do you
to
think
a
you can
slew
roll
of new
echoing?
options to bring divine devastation and return the faithless to their rightful
sounds
graves.
amazing.
We're also
Echoing
introducing some
acceleration.
supports to go with them, as well as some new transfigured gems. Let's go over a few examples. With
Goodbye,
holy
Mage's Blood.
hammers, you slam the ground to call down a hammer of justice from the sky.
Ooh,
If
slam
this
है ये
hits an enemy,
slam
an additional holy hammer will cascade forwards, which itself
क्या
can
क्या क्या
further
बोला hit
cascade
an enemy और
and
kill
so
an
forth.
enemy
सुन थोड़ी ना रहा तू
Of justice from the sky. If this hits an enemy, an additional holy hammer will cascade forwards,
अच्छा
which itself can further cascade and so forth. Expending a power charge when using the skill will call down an additional 2 hammers, which can also cause cascading slams. The more numerous your foes, the more instruments of holy judgment.
भाई साहब
Sweep is an old skill. In fact, it is so
fucking sick.
old that it's one of the very first skills ever implemented in Path of Exile, over 15 years ago.
Who had sweep on the bingo?
It's been long overdue for some attention. With 328,
Yo, Quinn's
it
playing
has
this
been
fucking build,
reworked into
100%,
Holy
right?
Sweep. This skill converts some of your physical damage to lightning, with shiny
Quinn-
new
this is
effects to
Quinn build.
match. Some enemies struck by the initial sweep will have hammers of light batter them from above. These hammers cause area damage where they land, so blasted enemies are demolished by
देख रहा है
random
चिदू
Successfully hitting an enemy with Holy Strike, you'll summon forth a floating holy armament, a glowing mace that follows you closely. These weapons are minions, and will attack with Holy Strike themselves whenever you do. These holy armaments will copy the stats
पर
Whenever
पुराने
you
वाली
do-
स्किल ज्यादा बढ़िया है लगी मेरे को, क्योंकि ये इसमें सिर्फ 3 ही आ रहे हैं, लिमिटेड है, उसमें जितनी मर्जी है हमें आ सकते हैं।
holy strike themselves whenever you
जितने
do.
बड़े होंगे ना, पर ये
holy
तेरे हिसाब से अटैक कर लिए, 3 गुना डैमेज है, कुछ होएगा।
And will attack with holy strike themselves whenever you do. These holy
जब तू
armaments
attack
will
करेगा
copy
तो।
the stats of your main hand weapon to deal their damage.
Cool.
Stand against your foes with Shield of Light, a retaliation
Hopefully we got
skill.
power.
Yes,
चुप हो जा,
yes,
चुप हो जा, रोना नहीं है,
yes.
सुना है, रोना नहीं है, चिल्लाना नहीं है, चुप हो जा, चुप हो
ये
जा, अभी
देखो,
अभी अभी कुछ
ये
नहीं
है।
बोला उन्होंने, कुछ रिटेलिएशन बोला उन्होंने, बस शांत हो जा अभी, ठीक है, आराम से देखना।
Stand against your foes with Shield of Light, a retaliation
Hopefully we got
skill which will
Paladin.
allow you to unleash a cone of holy light upon enemies
Skill,
after
skill?
blocking a hit with your shield. Additional cones of light will also pour forth from your
They
nearby
should
allies
reroll
when you hit
Spectral
with the
Throw.
skill,
Or no,
allowing you to recruit your
Helix.
holy army to create purging light.
Holy
Hanji?
Spectral Helix.
बंदे आएंगे मतलब।
Divine Blast emits a beam of holy light from your shield, coalescing into a hovering ball of energy. A few moments later, this unstable orb bursts, exploding outward with divine power.
स्लो नहीं लग रहा है?
Hallow supports melee attacks, causing them to
Hallow
inflict
support?
a new debuff, Hallowing Flame.
Hello.
Hallowing Flame builds up as charges on enemies, getting consumed when attacked. Consuming a stack of Hallowing Flame gives the attack that consumed it a significant amount of extra fire damage. But only those who did not inflict the Hallowing Flame are able to consume it.
Right.
मतलब
Perfect for those of you who enjoy a more supportive playstyle with your army of Holy Sentinels.
You should have said
Or
perfect for me.
friends, when they're online.
Oh.
We've also
Yeah,
added
yeah,
sources of this debuff to a number of other places, such as unique
I didn't
items,
see what the names were.
cluster jewels, and the Guardian Ascendancy class.
Wow. Of course, Guardian gets a buff.
We also have another batch of new transfigured gems, with many of these being variants for
Please,
gems
EA.
which previously had none.
Please,
ये
EA.
हाँ,
One
अच्छा
example is the
क्या?
बोल रहे प्लीज EA
these being
Explosive
variants
arrow
for
चलाते
gems which
रहिए।
previously had none.
Please, EA.
One example is the Shockwave Totem of Authority.
पाजी,
हैं अराउंड यू इंस्टेड ऑफ एनिमी, मतलब मिली बन गया मैं, टोटम पीछे लगा के मैं मिली बन गया।
someone sort of use this skill.
which casts its higher damage dealing
नहीं,
Nova
इसके
at
टिड्स
your
आ रही है।
location instead of its own.
हाँ
You might also enjoy Orb of Storms of
Ooh.
Squalls.
That one looks exciting.
These storms warp directly to targets when you use lightning skills, and
Wow.
arc lightning upon doing so. This gives you a
That looks
mobile
awesome.
storm of destruction that follows you as you dive into battle. We'll leave the rest of the transfigured skills for you to comb through in the patch notes.
EA.
Speaking of the patch notes, as always, we love to shake up the meta. So we've done a bunch of balance adjustments to
Meta.
a few other things as well, such as a pass on bloodline classes, expanded the passives available to the Templar section of the passive tree,
There you go.
and various improvements to existing holy themed skills such as Static Strike, Holy Flame Totem,
Spectral Helix
Ooh.
one.
and Dominating Blow.
ये कैसा था?
Wow.
Dominating
अच्छा,
blow
बंदे बुलाते
जाते
हैं।
थे।
We're also doing our usual improvement to some of the least played Ascendancy classes. This time with a focus on Guardian
Wow.
and Warden.
Wow. Wow.
100% है हेल्थ।
Speaking of and Warden,
कहाँ लिखा है?
पीछे जा, गार्डियन पे ओवर 4 सेकंड 100% हेल्थ है। हाँ, रीजनरेट 100% वो हेल्थ ओवर 1 सेकंड।
Every 4 seconds.
this time with a focus
एवरी
on
4 सेकंड
Guardian
रीजनरेट 100% ऑफ हेल्थ ओवर 1 सेकंड। क्या मजाक है ये?
भाई
Wow.
साहब,
Wow.
Speaking of Ascendancies, let's talk about
even
the
that.
Scion and her new Reliquarian Ascendancy class.
हाँ जी।
For
Well,
those that have
Reliquarian.
played the Legacy of Freesia events, this class will seem familiar. The Reliquarian is a learned Scion that has studied history at the Oriath Academy. She is a part of a secret society of Oriathans, dedicated to collecting and discerning the strange properties of unique items. All of her passive powers come from these unique items, found from throughout Rayclast. After ascending, first select the power of a unique armor.
Okay.
Victario's influence increases the level of all
ओ
your
ये सारे
warriors
आर्मर है.
and gives them a
नहीं
much
टांगे
larger
भी
area
है,
of
शील्ड
effect.
भी है.
Or instead, take Kilowava's Bluster, giving you a chance to have extreme elemental resistance against incoming hits.
40% chance for elemental resistance to count as being 90% against enemy hits.
Okay.
Next, pick from a unique weapon power.
Pack.
Widow Hail greatly increases the bonuses gained from your quiver.
That's very cool.
Or Martyr's Teaching, which causes your minions' critical strike chance with attacks to be equal to your main hand weapon. Lastly, pick your crown jewel, a unique jewelry power. Astral Projector causes Nova spells to cast from enemies
Is that the energy
rather
shield
than from
belt?
yourself. Or take Astramentus,
He's not
simply
hovering
giving
over
you
the
a
belt.
huge
Plus
boost
62
to all your
It is
attributes.
the Uber
Due to
Cyrus
all the
belt,
ways
though,
you
or
can
Cyrus
mix and
belt.
match unique powers, the Reliquarian has
that's a good
more
call.
flexibility in
Yeah.
how you build it compared to any other Ascendancy class in the game. Our plan going forward is for the Reliquarian to not be a static Ascendancy class, and between each expansion, the unique powers which are offered
What a
will
sick.
change. If you don't like what she offers this expansion,
Knight?
hopefully she'll have
Someone
the
in
power
chat
of your
told
favorite
this.
unique item in the next one.
Acha.
Time to move on to the end game.
Oh,
Okay, that's fucking cool.
With this
That's fucking
expansion, we are
cool.
aiming to liven up the endgame, giving players
That's
new
very cool.
experiences, strategies to leverage, and streamlining or removing
I
the
love
more
rotating
frustrating
shit.
tasks. Extensive changes will be coming to the Atlas and how you engage with maps,
So changes.
without interfering with the beloved core experience that has made mapping so successful.
good.
In the last few endgame updates, you experienced Zana's
Yeah.
story.
There you go.
How she helped
Okay.
defeat the Elder, tried to stop exiles from going mad in the Atlas, and faced new threats pouring forth from it. In the most recent expansion, she eventually realized that there was only one way forward, to destroy
Why does she
the
look so
Atlas.
buff-like?
Zana's recent actions have now weakened the already strained and tattered edges of its realities, reshaping how we interact with the Atlas entirely.
Hey?
Elder
To
Circle.
explain how this changes your
let's
interactions
put
with the
the D.
Atlas, we first want to establish some context while having a bit of a trip down memory lane. 27 expansions ago, back in Path of Exile
27 expansion 27 पाजी नंबर में कुछ बात है
3.1,
27
हम कौन से पे आए हैं? हम आधा वो हो गया था मेटाफोर, तो फिर आए थे हम, है ना?
बताइए
इतनी ज्यादा हो गई. अच्छा, पहले उससे पहले का है ने. चला
2.0, the war for the
Hey, Elder
Atlas.
Circle.
We had a mechanic on the Atlas with the
DK!
Shaper and Elno, the 27
वही सब ये क्या था?
अरे
back
पहले
in
का
Path
दिखा
of
रहे हैं
Exile
ये
3.1.0.
पहले ऐसे जाता था?
Hey, Elder
हाँ.
Circle.
We had a mechanic on the Atlas where the Shaper and Elder were engaged in war. This manifested as influence regions on the Atlas that
हाँ, ऐसे
affected
होता था पहले.
specific maps. The ever-changing influence regions made the Atlas feel more like a physically connected space, rather than just a fancy way of visualizing a checklist of completed maps. However, one of the main frustrations with this mechanic was that you constantly needed many different specific maps in order to manipulate the influenced regions. We realized we'd love to again have mechanics that manifest
always has
physically
such
on
cool
your
shoes.
Atlas, but we'd have to address the issue of always needing those specific maps. The first major change we'll be making to solve this is divorcing map items from specific areas. As
मतलब
an example,
Divorcing मतलब
instead of
matter
having a
नहीं करेगा.
Mesa map, you will now find, say, a tier 10
I've
map.
seen this before.
To open a Mesa map now, just locate and select
Seen
Mesa
this
on your
before.
Atlas, put in your map item,
अरे तो
click
play 2 होगी.
activate, and you're good to go.
हैं? ओ!
ये
ओह!
ये मैप एक तरह से चाबी है मतलब अब
Activate,
हाँ,
and you
सही है.
select Mesa
This
on your
before.
Atlas, put in your map item, click activate, and you're good to go.
Okay, that's quite
Yeah,
sick.
right.
Mesa may
That's the
drop
good
a
version.
tier 11 map.
Isn't it?
You can then immediately return to your map device, which will default to the last map run, and then run it again. Or choose a new map to use it on. It's your choice.
This is the good version.
Okay. Maybe.
This is one of the many benefits to this change, which
We
is
can
that
just
if
run
you're the
whatever map
type
we
of
want
player
now,
who
forever.
enjoys chaining the same map over and over, or the type of player who prefers to jump around, it is equally easy to do either strategy or even switch between them
अब
at a
तो
moment's
अरे
notice.
अब तो कोई मैप बेच नहीं
For
सकता, क्या करेगा बेच के
example,
वो?
if one day you're
वो
farming
बेच सकता है अभी भी। टीयर 11 का चाहिए, टीयर 16 का मैप चाहिए, वो तो बिकेगा ना। टीयर 16 मैप तो
ओ
एक
भाई साहब,
बिकेगा, पर वो
अब
कोई
तो
भी
मैं
बन
ये कर
सकता है।
सकता हूँ। हाँ, पहले मेरे को वो करना होता था, क्या कहते हैं, अगर बॉस वाला मेरे को कुछ खेलना होता था, बॉस वाले मैप लेके आओ, 5-5 10-10 के उसके होते थे।
अलग अलग मैप
अब
और
बोलते हैं वो
सेम
नो नो
रोस्टर
नो नो
में
नो।
हर
हाँ, अब वो बोल रहे हैं क्या,
burial chambers,
10 कोस
Okay.
क्या,
to
जाओ ले
eventually
लो।
get a headhunter from divination, or
Yeah,
even
full
switch
idea,
between them at a moment's notice. For example, if one day you're farming burial chambers,
Okay.
hoping to eventually get a headhunter from divination cards,
I'm willing
and
to
you
try
decide
it.
you need a change of rhythm, you can seamlessly swap to your boss farming atlas tree and spam Mesa for peak boss killing efficiency. Up until now, this would have required
Yeah.
having some Mesa maps stashed, setting all your favorite
Interesting.
maps to
Nice.
Mesa, or doing a whole bunch of trading. You'll also notice that the
मार्केट प्लेस
structure
करूंगा
of the
मैं, भागो सामने बॉस आगे।
doing a whole bunch of trading. You'll also notice that the structure of the atlas has changed.
Does seem good.
If you haven't played in a while, here's a look at it before and after. You will now begin at the center of the atlas, with each corner housing one of 4 voidstone slots. In addition, all content accessed from your map device now exists physically on the atlas, so you can see everything available in the endgame as you reveal the Fog of War.
What?
This also means that all unique maps are now present on the atlas, including some old favorites that are appearing for the first time. Don't worry though, you don't need to complete Hall of Grandmasters every league. You now gain 1 atlas skill
Buddy.
point per unique map
ठीक
completed,
है।
up to a maximum of 10. Given there are around 20 unique maps, you only need to complete the half you want, if you can get your hands on them. Note, you aren't losing any atlas skill points. These have been moved to new places, and actually, you can get more than before.
I'm a little scared, but it
Due
does
to
look good.
Zana's actions,
ये ले
Egan now
लीजिए,
has a
ले
new
लीजिए।
goal and is determined to stop Zana's
अच्छा, वो जो
destruction
नए पत्ते आए
by
उनको
making
लिए।
use of a mysterious new discovery, arcane astrolabes.
A quadrant.
Zana is currently traversing the threads that weave the atlas together, severing them. With these new astrolabes, Egan is able to trace her movement, but using them causes dangerous side effects. When you use an astrolabe on a map on the atlas, a shaped region will manifest itself in that quadrant, affecting many of the maps within it. There are many different kinds of astrolabes, and they apply different types of shaped regions. For
That makes
example,
sense.
an abyssal region, which causes all the maps to have an additional abyss. Or a blighted region, which adds a blight encounter.
I like
Completing the
that.
content added by the astrolabe will remove the shaped region's influence from that map. Upon doing so, every other map remaining in the shaped region will gain an additional modifier. This means as you progress through the shaped region, maps you run will become more and more intense, with the relevant mechanic getting more and more juiced.
It's like memories.
Finally, at the end of the region of
Yeah.
maps, once you have
Okay.
successfully rid the atlas of the shaped region, Egan will take you to one of 4
I
memory
think better
vaults,
memories.
where there are powerful rewards to be had.
हाँ, सही बोल रहे हैं, मेमोरीज की तरह।
He cares only for the knowledge hidden within that vault, so any items are yours for the taking. Each vault is associated with a specific quadrant on the atlas, so you're able to target a certain vault.
ये जो
if you
heist
wanted
वाला
to
है,
try
ये
get a
जो अंशु
specific
जी को
type of
पता है।
reward.
Okay.
One such vault is the Archon's Vault, where you'll be rewarded with powerful unique items.
Ooh.
Or the Zealot's Vault, to acquire valuable currency
Cool,
items.
okay.
That looks nice.
ये धूम करके गिरी नहीं पाजी ये तो.
This new shaped region system is one that promotes
Gladly,
running
but it's
many
in the
different maps.
chest.
But for players that want to engage with this new system while still wanting to run the same map over and over again, the synthesized stability keystone on the Atlas tree enables exactly that. With all the new endgame changes, we thought it would be also good to mention some handy tips and tricks for quickly navigating the new Atlas. When using the map device, the Atlas defaults to your
सिंगल
previously
टारगेट
run
कैसे
map.
मारेंगे?
So running the same map over and over is as few clicks as possible.
Wow.
You can right-click unique maps or map fragments in your inventory to automatically open your Atlas to that location with the map already placed and ready to run. When you select a special area
We
that
haven't seen
requires
tier
multiple
17s.
items, such as to fight at Zeri or open the domain of timeless conflict,
I think they're gone.
if you have the fragments to access that in your inventory, it will automatically add them to the map device in the right spot. That's the
ये को
core of
घुमाने
the new
पड़ते जी.
endgame. But there's a
Juggling,
lot
that's
more
nice.
in-game changes coming in
Oh
328.
shit!
Let's blast through them.
भाई अभी भी खत्म नहीं हुआ क्या?
Over the last few expansions,
POE
we've been
ये.
working on streamlining the mapping experience.
Lightning
And we
strike.
wanted to continue to minimize busy work so you can spend more time
Why
doing
are
what
they
you
showing
love.
without a
Killing
filter? I don't
monsters,
get it.
getting loot. To that end, we've made a number of changes. We won't get into too much detail, but here's a quick summary of what you can expect to have received adjustment. We've removed cartographer's chisels and map device crafts entirely. The loss of content and loot here has been compensated for in other places.
Huge. I hated chisels.
Void Stones now grant special global bonuses while
Okay.
socketed on your Atlas,
Cool.
including adding the new Originator Void Stone, which enables specific Atlas bosses to drop
ये
exceptional
ऊपर
support.
चला जाएगा.
We'll elaborate
ऊपर हो
more
गया.
on that in the next section.
हर एक कॉर्नर पे.
Okay.
T17 maps as
हाँ,
you know it
एक
have
स्क्रीन
effectively
काफी नहीं पड़
been
रही थी ना.
removed. The bosses have been kept around.
T17
and we'll
हटा
cover
दिए?
that in the next section.
Okay.
T17 maps as you know it have effectively been removed. The bosses have been kept around, and they better fulfill their original purpose
Wow.
of being a gateway to
Yes!
target farm uber pinnacle bosses. The most annoying modifiers on originator maps have been removed or replaced. No more getting turned into a slug for simply using
Wow.
skills. And no more will you be incapable of dealing damage periodically.
What a W!
Petal skills and originator maps have been removed. However, some of their
Take
effects
my
are now
money.
available from the altars and
Buying
memory
supporter
threads.
ये देखो.
Memory tears, instead of adding a memory thread to your Atlas, will now drop an itemized version of that thread,
Oh!
allowing you to save it for later or trade it at your leisure.
Oh!
We've added new scarabs, such as this Expedition Scarab of Infusion, which
Wow.
can generate some truly tempting logbooks. And for those of you looking to take on the ultimate one-on-one fight, the Anarchy Scarab of the Exceptional will place a
Gonna
true
one-shot me.
antagonist-level rogue exile threat in your map,
Exceptional low.
empowered by
Brother.
every type of
Brother.
wildwood wisp, possessed by a tormented
Oh.
spirit,
Oh.
augmented with rare monster modifiers, and affected by a shrine. This exile is not to be trifled with.
Yeah, no thanks.
क्यों?
Alongside that, we've also changed some, such as the
But
Beyond
Chunky?
Scarab of Resurgence, which now causes all three
divine orb
Beyond bosses to
गिराना चाहिए
appear
इसे मारने
when
में.
a Beyond boss would spawn in your map.
Wow.
On top of that, we've made improvements to a number of weak Atlas Tree
I should
passives,
still buff those a bit. They're a
such
bit boring.
as Pillage and Plunder, which now grants a chance
You
for
know,
items dropped by
Papa
Syndicate
Chapter
members to have a
Wield.
Fractured Veiled mod.
Wow.
Check out the new The Paths Not Taken Keystone,
Okay.
which means your maps on average will drop twice as many divination cards. But which ones can drop will be a mystery. And last, but not
That's not
least,
cool.
we've also made some changes to King's March shipping, such as we've swapped the rewards given by sending ore and crops.
That makes sense.
I wonder what this new port will send back.
Wow.
Ports will now give more rewards for favored resources.
ओह
And you can eat-
चो
क्या हो गया भाई? क्या? क्यों? क्यों? क्या हुआ?
रीरोल कर सकते हैं अब देख
क्या रिरोल?
इस वाले पोर्ट पे मेरे को नहीं भेजना गोल्ड, मेरे पे नहीं है गोल्ड, मैं नहीं भेजना चाहता, रीरोल कर दो, कुछ और मांगेगा फिर वो।
अच्छा
And re-roll them for gold, if they're not offering what you're after.
Okay.
Specific ports will now reward specific tattoos and rune grafts, making it easier to target the ones you want. Not to mention, the Kalgurans have discovered several
Huge,
new,
actually good
powerful rune
messages
grafts for
in
you
there.
to
Those
get
are
your
good
hands
changes,
on,
but I'm still not a huge
such
fan of
as
King's March.
the rune graft of Fury, which causes you to gain rage on using a life flask, and the rune graft of Resurgence, which causes Arcane Surge to also grant life regeneration. We mentioned earlier about the Originator Voidstone enabling access to exceptional supports.
You did say that.
So let's get into that, as there's a
please.
decent amount to cover.
भाई
What
कब
a
खत्म होगा ये?
patch.
अभी भी चल ही रहा
After
है.
defeating the incarnations of Fear,
Huh?
Neglect, and Dread,
अच्छे
you
डेवलपर है
will
वो,
obtain
बोलने
the
दो ने।
Originator Voidstone. As mentioned earlier, this Voidstone allows new, exceptional support gems to drop from many bosses across the Atlas.
Near exceptional.
These new supports are an improvement over the old Awakened support system, which is being phased out. Awakened supports have long been a capstone investment for a character, but there's existed a gulf between the more interesting ones, such as Awakened Spell Cascade, which has some additional transformative effect, as opposed to some of the simpler Awakened supports, which just have slightly higher numerical values.
They did say they were
Exceptional
removing Awakened
supports
Gems,
will
right?
all be transformative,
They did.
serving as an
Okay.
additional late game tool
Greater
to
multi
customize your
क्या
build
कर रहा है
around,
ये?
and extending character customization and creation.
देखियो क्या क्या लिखा है,
even once
ग्रेटर
into a
मल्टीकल
build's life.
स्ट्राइक सपोर्ट, ऐसा ही होता है क्या?
One of the goals here is to provide interesting build choices,
हैं?
even at
More
later
melee
levels
attack
deep
speed भी
into
लिखा
the
था।
endgame. However, we are certainly not aiming to reduce top-end player power with these changes. Exceptional supports will still be super strong.
That's insane.
If used well, they will catapult your character even further than before. So, how many are there, and what exactly do they do?
Chain.
There are
Forward.
over 40 new exceptional supports to discover,
Carlin strike.
adding
Bunch of-
additional enticing drops to bosses that may otherwise have
Range.
felt not as worthwhile to run, giving players extra reason to take on those challenges. For instance, from the King in the Mists, we have the Hex Toad support. This support
Hex
creates
Toad.
areas of swampy
अरे ये तो वो हो गए. ये
देख
क्या
टोड
नाम है?
उछल के आ रहे हैं।
रिश्ती कढ़ाई. ये
हाँ।
उसमें जब टोड डालते थे केओस डैमेज इतना लगता था मर जाते थे हम.
देख
cursed ground.
2000
which
क्वेस्ट डैमेज
spawns
दे रहे,
toads
लेवल
that
1 पे
bounce towards
2000 दे रहे, और
enemies.
कितना चाहिए तेरे को?
बस्टिंग तो डील.
लेवल 1 पे 3000 डैमेज।
2000 से 3000 केओस डैमेज. ये क्या
क्यों?
लिखा है?
इतना लेवल 1 पे क्यों?
अबे इन्फ्लिक्ट विदर भी है 2 सेकंड के लिए ऑन इट. ये क्या है?
King in the Mists, we have the Hex Toad support. This support creates areas of swampy cursed
ये
ground,
तो 1 सेकंड में
which
जाएगा.
spawns toads that bounce towards enemies and then explode,
Explosive
dealing
Toad.
chaos damage.
ये देख खुशी देख।
From the Uber Elder, we have the Void Storm support, which
That looks
causes
so
your
sick.
raining attacks to create celestial storms of energy that grow over time,
That is so
detonating as
cool.
you approach for massive damage.
That's the approach.
Defeating the incarnation of Neglect may
Frost
win you the
Mage?
Frost Mage support. Similar to the existing Archmage support, you are rewarded for stacking mana to enhance your spells with extraordinary cold
वही
damage.
22%। अंशु 22%, 10,000 कर सकते हैं हम।
Support skill gain added cooldown equal to 20% of reserved maximum mana. Gain base mana cost equal to 5% of reserved maximum mana. हाँ जी. माना बढ़ाओ और रिजर्व करवाओ.
हाँ हाँ 22,000 कर सकते हैं। मैंने सॉरी 10,000 तो मैं आराम से कर रखी है।
Will
तो
tease some more of these
2,000
enhance your spells with extraordinary cold damage.
nowhere
We'll tease
near
some more of these
Anshu's
before launch,
mine।
but there will be many, many more for you
This
to
is the
discover.
best POE-1 patch ever?
Keepers
Ye
of the
take, ye
Flame
take.
is coming back. However, we do know that many players have issues with the walls in Hive encounters. In order to address these concerns, we'll be making a number of changes.
Pump gun.
One of the biggest problems is that walls would block your projectiles, meaning that when a hive randomly spawned in your map, it would make it harder to clear. In order to prevent that, walls and hive encounters will now be destroyed by any damage.
Not remove
But we
walls?
also wanted to make sure we reduce the visual clutter they cause. Hives and their walls are now smaller.
Why not
To
just
allow
remove
players
walls?
to engage with hive encounters quicker when they do want to help Aelith, we've added a new Atlas passive which drastically increases the detonation area of unstable burrows, causing them to reliably chain react and destroy the majority of remaining walls. For those who don't want to deal with the walls at all, there's now a pair of keystones that allow you to block hive encounters or unstable breaches, if you want.
Always
Now
high,
that this is a
always.
core league, we don't want you to have to grow your Genesis tree from scratch on every league start. So now, each womb gift slot is already usable by default, and access to the Monastery of the Keepers will be gained by finding Aelith starting in Act 6 Mudflats.
तो ये मेरे पे कोई लीग
Now
स्टार्टर
with
नहीं है.
Atlas Tree and Scarab support, you can have multiple unstable breach encounters active in a single area, for maximum ruckus.
Rockets!
Speaking of Atlas Tree and Scarab support, we've added plenty. Here are a few examples.
We दो ब्रीच चल रहे हैं नीचे.
The Massing Forces Atlas notable grants a chance to have additional unstable breaches in your maps. The Breach Scarab of the Marshal guarantees a breach boss or Hive Fortress, while the Breach Scarab of the Incensed Swarm replaces all of Aelith's skills with Enrage the Hive, increasing the difficulty and reward from Hive monsters in all
ऐसे भी
subsequent
कुछ नहीं
waves.
करते. थोड़ी स्पेल मार
Graft
देती है.
items will no
ये क्या
longer
Mamba
exist,
strike?
but we've moved several of the graft skills to
graft
new
okay.
exceptional supports.
Oh.
अच्छा,
Such
okay,
as the
okay.
Hive-born support, which summons an army of breach minions to do your bidding when you use a supported offering skill. And the Foul Grasp support, which calls forth a field of grasping breach hands when you recall brands, exploding for heavy lightning
That's
damage when
cool.
enemies approach them.
Slow
We're looking forward to seeing how these improvements and additions are received, alongside a lot of what Keepers also has to offer. From the new bosses in their bloodline, through to the Genesis tree and its many different crafting options, like Foulborn Uniques. Also with its new narrative, we look forward to extrapolating on all of this and learning more about
Foulborn
Aelith,
Unique अभी भी
the
है छो.
Hiveborn, and its Breach Lords in the future.
Oh.
That covers all the new content we're adding, and that was a lot. From a new in-game system, several new reward types, new ways to juice maps,
That looks
all of
amazing.
which you can double up in the new Mirage League.
तालियां.
All that alongside a suite of new holy skills.
ये बंदा
a new
तालियां बजा रहा है
Ascendancy
जिसका
class,
अभी कंटेंट
and an
नहीं आया.
insane
मेरा ब्लॉक
amount of
वाला
new
नहीं आया, मेरा
character
वार्स्ट्राइक नहीं आया,
customization in
पर
the
कोई
endgame.
बात.
How the fuck is this game
However,
free? Fuck,
an
dude.
important
Yeah,
part
yeah.
of Path of Exile expansions is making sure there is a continued effort to improve quality of life. So let's get into that now. You can now favorite trades on the currency exchange. This consists of selecting 2 currencies that you want to be able to trade between with a single click and setting them as a favorite trade. Favorite trades will appear by default when opening the currency exchange and will still auto-suggest a ratio based on recent trade data. A further improvement to the currency exchange is the ability to open and interact with your stash while you have the exchange window
वाह,
open.
वाह.
Now, when trading in a full set of divination cards, it will automatically be handed in to become the resultant item.
क्या
If
बात
you then
है.
turn in another
मैं
set
फेंक रखे
immediately,
होते हैं
the
बीच में.
reward from the previous set will be transferred to your inventory
रिप्लेस क्यों
directly,
जाएगा?
assuming there's enough free space to do so. Labyrinth font crafts that previously gave a random transfigured gem now allow
So
you to
nice.
choose which transfigured gem of that
We've
type
seen
you'd
this,
like
right?
to
They
receive.
posted this already.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
ये
This
तो
is-
होता है पहले ही.
Asynchronous
People
trade
haven't
item
seen that.
sale history
ये
is
पहले नहीं
now
होता?
hoverable.
अच्छा
Hello?
होवरेबल है. हाँ
नहीं, वो जो उसने 2 सिलेक्ट किए वो तो पहले ही होता है.
नहीं, उसी जेम का टाइप है.
Transferred
देखो
to your
जी
inventory.
बाजी,
Labyrinth
देखो
font
जी.
crafts that previously
क्या डाला इसने? पेनेंस ब्रांड.
gave a random transfigured gem now
ट्रांसफिगर्ड
allow
किस
you
में
to
हुआ?
choose which
किस में
transfigured gem of
ट्रांसफिगर्ड
that
हुआ?
type
Wait,
ओह,
This,
पेनेंस
right? They
ब्रांड
posted
का ही
this
टाइप
already.
बनाओ.
ओह.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, this is
The
just
asynchronous
for people who
trade
haven't
item
seen it.
sale history is now hoverable, with full item
ओ
descriptions. of
भाई
the
जो
sold items.
लैब
I
रन
love
करते हैं
this.
वो क्या बोलेंगे? वो बोलेंगे धक तेरी, अब मैं कैसे बेचूं? तो काम
When
तो
using
करके
divine
नहीं.
orbs, you
I
can
love
now
this.
tell of the sold item.
I love this.
कान
When
बंद कर ले,
using
हम
divine
नहीं करते ऐसे. कान बंद कर ले, कान बंद कर ले, आंखें बंद कर ले यार.
Not the right audience.
orbs, you
Hello,
can now
guys.
tell exactly which modifiers can be
इमेज
randomized.
ब्लूड है हमारे पे, कैसे नहीं बोल रहा.
The ritual icon will now glow if you've got significant unspent tribute in an area and all rituals are complete. And a pop-up will appear after the final ritual completion.
Honestly,
Also
that
on the
needs an
top of the
alarm bell
ritual,
for me to notice
you can
it.
now quick use vessels on
अलार्म
completed
है, ये
rituals.
देखो.
Have you ever tried to click a divine shrine surrounded by enemies and
Only took
find it
16
extremely
years.
difficult to click? Well, shrines now take priority over monsters when clicking in an area they overlap. Since 324, we've been looking to add new ways to improve the campaign experience, and 328 is no different.
इन्फिनिट समझे.
This patch, we've added over 20 landmark rooms throughout the campaign, scattered
Landmark
across
room
all
मतलब?
10 acts. Some of these reward some pretty useful stuff, so keep an eye out
दुनिया
for the
बनती
new
जैसे.
and unexpected rooms, side passages,
Ooh.
chests, and encounters as you progress throughout Rayclast. We want most of these to be a
I tested
surprise,
this already.
but we'll show you just
Like
one.
the 5 link from the League
There
mechanic.
is now a small
remember?
Yeah.
central island in the Karui fortress, all inhabitants of which will
बाजी
drop a
तेरे वाले टुंडे आ गए वो जो बाजा बजाते हैं.
small
Remember?
Yeah.
central island in the Karui
Ward.
fortress. All inhabitants of
वार्ड नहीं और जेड.
which will drop a basic tattoo when slain.
This is so cool.
वो सारी टैटू गिरेंगे.
Next up, we're going to be talking about our new supporter packs. Today, we're launching 2 new
Anju.
series of supporter packs. The Curator of Wisdom
Okay.
and Iron Incarcerator packs.
That was a cool portal.
Each tier contains the pack's full face value in points,
ये
alongside
क्या
several
hideout है ये?
exclusive
That might be my
microtransactions.
fucking favorite portal.
As always,
I haven't
the
liked portals for a long
microtransactions in these
time.
packs are purely cosmetic and
Yeah,
do not
that's
affect your
it.
character's power or progression in any way.
वो बंदर भाग रहा है.
The Curator of Wisdom
Five
series of
star.
supporter packs contains
Blue वाला
7
ज्यादा
exclusive microtransactions.
पर्पल ब्लू जो भी.
That's so sick.
अभी हरा हफ्ता तो
Wisdom
अभी ले
pack
लेता हूँ
attachment
अभी.
has
Hara
all the
Ooh,
necessary
rat!
tools you may
Rat!
require to chronicle your journey,
I'm buying the
complete
portal.
with a helpful rat friend. These chronicles will activate their magic upon identifying items and will track the number of items identified of each rarity. Just hover the
अच्छा.
item or link it in chat to show it off.
Oh,
That's
The
cool.
acquired wisdom unique finisher effect
That's
summons
actually
an
badass
ancient
for unique
scroll
hunters.
that consumes unique enemies and the knowledge they
Definitely
hold.
not using that.
Most exiles would struggle carrying piles of scrolls while traveling Rayclast,
Yeah,
but the
yeah.
Grand Curator of Wisdom armor set is perfect for the adventurous scholar. Any expert curator knows that scrolls hold more than just knowledge, they also hold power. As you cast spells, the scrolls attached to the armor will burn away, before rematerializing shortly after.
Cool.
It also features a series of helmet variations, so you can get precisely the look you're after. Summon your Scroll Shaper familiar pet to follow alongside you.
That's cool.
This creature is formed from folded magical texts and can shapeshift between different forms.
That is cool.
You can
pet.
think of this as having multiple pets in
Wow,
one.
that is really cool.
It can fold
I don't
into
even
a
like
fox,
pets, but that is cool.
and then even burn away, reforming into a flying bird.
Really cool.
That is very cool.
This series of packs also contains the Scroll Portals.
That's the one I want.
Jumbo-sized versions of the Scroll of Wisdom and Portal Scroll that you can make a quick retreat through. A supreme catalogue of knowledge can't
Pizzeria?
remain in one place.
हाँ बता इसमें स्कूल ऑफ विजडम कौन सा है, पोर्टल कौन सा है?
विजडम वाला आग वाला होगा.
ठीक है आगे कर दे.
Through. A supreme catalogue of knowledge can't remain in one place for too long and risk being pillaged by thieves. The Titan
I don't know.
Apex Hideout features a colossal titan who carries your base of operations atop their shoulders, constantly moving through a boundless desert.
that's
नहीं
creepy.
शायद टाइटन सही है.
The Iron Incarcerator pack also contains 6 exclusive microtransactions. The Incarcerator's Restraints back attachment features stockades that were used to immobilize prisoners by binding them to the earth
that boss.
as they were tortured for their wrongdoings. Shackles envelop your choice of torturing device when using the Chains of the Incarcerator weapon effect. These chains shatter into links as you batter enemies. Make your way through Rayclast as a walking penitentiary, intimidating your enemies with the elite Iron Incarcerator armor set. After a long day of tracking down criminals, step into the Iron Maiden portal to retreat to your torture chamber. It acts as a great deterrent for would-be intruders. This peculiar creature was a favorite amongst incarcerators. They would be sent into the midst of prison
Mewtwo?
riots to mesmerize and
I know this
control the
guy.
toughest of minds. Use their talents to charm other players' pets, causing them to
ये
abandon their
देखो
owners and follow in line behind you instead, at least until it wears off. What better way
ये
to execute
देखो।
prisoners when your torturing has depleted their value? Harvest their souls to fuel this map device, condemning them to eternal incarceration.
ये टॉर्चर वाली
Clues
थीम
within the
बनाई है
map are
इन्होंने।
also recorded based on the rarity of the monster.
मेरे को तो नहीं अच्छा लगा इनमें से कोई।
You can choose to pin an execution session that you're satisfied with on this miniature leaderboard, which
Ooh,
is displayed for all that dare enter your hideout. Additionally,
I like the first
all
supporter pack more.
microtransactions from these supporter packs
I like
will
this
be
one
made
more.
available for use in Path
the
of
second
Exile
one?
2.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
they-
much
Chains that
for
do
your
it for you?
ongoing support.
It's the chains.
We're just about to
I'm
start
a
the
bit kinky
Q&A
these
with
days.
ZD.
आया जुदा दिखी दी।
Afterwards, we'll post the
Thailand.
full patch notes for Path of Exile Mirage at 11 a.m. New Zealand time, 2 p.m. Pacific. With release at the end of next week, our
I'm gonna go
community
pee.
team will be
That was
posting
amazing.
crucial information you'll need for the release.
चलो बढ़िया भाई।
Keep an eye on the news.